Hey everybody, welcome back. I just wanted to make this actually a separate video because I know that a lot of people are curious about exactly how much does all this cost, because there's all types of sources online about people saying they've lost thousands of dollars, and you might talk to somebody who's in Amway and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. That never happened to me. Well, I wanted to break down the actual cost, and some of these things I first learned about on Martha Ree's channel. And then some of these things I learned about when I actually talked to my would-be sponsor, because I literally wanted to know, what's all these numbers? I didn't know about this. All you told me was $190, and then that was it. So I wrote this down, and I have a calculator with me now. So this is what I found from Martha Ree's channel, the notes that I took from what she said. So the cost of Worldwide Dream Builders membership, their premier cost is $75 a month. And then you have to spend $34 a month on their Communicate app, which is just a communication app. I mean, you could literally just talk to your mentor on the phone, but no, pay $34 a month to be able to talk to this person who is supposed to be like your life coach and your friend and your therapist, and they're supposed to be all of these resources for you. Pay $34 a month to talk to them. Yeah, that's nice. $20 for a black box, which is a starter kit from Amway. So this is the startup cost, all the money you're gonna have to pay in the beginning to actually launch the business with them. So to pay to launch the business is $300. And then it's $500 to put into Ditto, which, if I understand correctly, is supposed to be like a monthly subscription situation where everything that you're going to buy from Amway for yourself, you just sign up for Ditto and they automatically deduct that money from you every month, which $500. I don't spend $500 on nothing a month that's not rent. Like anything, it's like my rent's up here, and then everything else that I spend monthly on is way less than $500. That's like ridiculous. Even my car note's not $500. This is ridiculous. So for a total of $900 to launch the business, and that's not including, and that's just 1 month. But let's come over here to my other bookmark, where I brought up to my would-be sponsor, like all the numbers, right? And she told me, she was like, okay, well, yeah, it is $190 a year to be a part of Amway, which is what she told me. Because she was like, oh, it's such a low startup cost. She said that multiple times. It's a low startup cost. No other business you're going to start is going to have such a low cost. So that's what was told to me over and over and over again. And now I'm finding out other stuff. 2 weeks in, like 5-6 meetings in, I'm finding out this other stuff. So it is $150 a month to have all of the Worldwide Dream Builders apps and membership stuff, all of that every month. That's $150. And she's like, and that's just overhead. I mean, you know, that's just a really low overhead. I mean, any other business you start is gonna cost way more than $150 a month, which is true. But also, Worldwide Dream Builders is making some good money off of us just being a part of Worldwide Dream Builders. Like if I just joined Amway and only had to pay that $190 a month, you know, not a month, $190 a year, you know, okay, I lost $190. But to spend $150 a month in addition to that on the Worldwide Dream Builder stuff, knowing full well that there are a lot of people who are in Amway, and the people who actually end up making any money only make $200 a month. So if out of that $200 a month, you're paying $150 just to be a part of Worldwide Dream Builders, who's supposed to be training you on how to make more money, you're only making $50 a month, not including however much money that really that $50 is probably just going right back into buying more Amway products, to be honest. So you're really not making anything. Worldwide Dream Builders just swoops in and they just take that little $200 that you was gonna make, and that's it. for that, because you're paying for your mentorship opportunity. This is not, and they tell you that we're doing this out of the kindness of our heart. This is a service for us that we want to do, kind of making it seem like it's like a church thing, like, oh, I like to help people and I'm doing this to help people. But you're getting paid. You're getting your bonuses from Amway for having so much PV, and your PV is based off how much you sell and how much the people under you sell. So you're making all this additional money. Is it really just the kindness of your own heart? I mean, they said in the board plan multiple times, like, we have a financial interest in this. We have a vested financial interest in this because we do good when you do good. When you make money, we make money. So I find it hard to believe, because I feel like, yeah, you could try to get paid for things that you enjoy doing, but when you add money into it, it doesn't feel like it's altruistic. If I'm paying you to spend time with me, to talk to me, to coach me, it doesn't feel like we have a genuine bond, like they try to convince you that that is what you have. And I don't like that, because I have a mentor and I talk to her for free. We text, we call, before COVID, we would, get together and have lunch and everything. And that was all free. One time we went to Costco to shop together. It's just what you do when someone actually cares about you as a person. She's never once said, you're going to have to pay me for my time. No, she's just a kind-hearted individual who wanted to help. So I just think it's really weird. And I know a lot of people don't have mentors in their life, so it might feel like, oh, this is such an amazing thing to have this mentorship opportunity, but to have to pay for it, like, I might as well just go to a therapist and pay them like my little copay every session, and I feel like I'd get way more out of it than some 20-something-year-old who they haven't really helped people achieve financial independence yet, but they're mentors. So $150 a month. Let's just do some math here, okay? $150 a month times 12. So that's $1,800 a year overhead. And it's a 5-year plan, remember? So just off this alone, Worldwide Dream Builders is expecting to make $9,000 off of you if you stay for the 5 year. And it's the 2 to 5 year plan. So they say, oh, well, you can achieve financial independence in 2 years, but they really kind of want you to stay for that 5 years, if not longer. Because if you actually do achieve financial independence, you're never going to leave Worldwide Dream Builders, because that's where you're making your money. So just keep on paying that overhead to them, keeping that business running. They're going to keep making money off of you. I wanted to talk about the blueprint, right? Because you might have heard me mention the BV stuff, and that's kind of confusing. It is kind of confusing. But basically, BV is how much money you make for Amway. So how much money you make in sales. Maybe you sell $300 worth of stuff, and then that's 300 BV. So that's what that is. PV is how they keep, it's like their scoring chart, So one PV is 3, hold on, let me make sure I got this number right. If you multiply the PV times 3, so take your BV, divide that by 3, that's your PV. And the PV is how they rank you in terms of whether or not you're going to receive a bonus. So the basic amount that you want to do to even be considered like, I guess, a business owner, according to what they told me in the board plan, is 150 PV, which is $450 a month. So you have to make sales at least $450 a month. And if you do that, and according to the Worldwide Dream Builders plan, you have to have 50 people under you who are doing that amount in order for you to reach platinum level. And then, of course, if you make $900 a month in sales, and then it's 300 PV, then you only need 25 people. If you make $1,500 a month in sales, that's how much money you're making for Amway, then you're at 500 PV, and then you only need like the 12 people, which is their standard. So the 12 people to work under you who are going to do the same amount that you are in sales in order for you to reach platinum. That's a lot of money in sales for you. And then you have to convince other people to make that same amount in sales in order for you to reach platinum. Okay. So in order for you to reach platinum, which is going to be you making $57,000 a year in bonuses and sales and all that. In order for you to reach platinum, you have to be making 7,500 PV a month. So let's put that in the calculator, okay? 7,500 PV times 3. That is, you're making sales of $22,500 a month for Amway. So if you had your own business and you didn't have to pay all that overhead and everything with Worldwide Dream Builders, if you was making that much a month, you would actually, and you could actually keep what you make, you would actually make $270,000 a year. Way better than that little $57,000. So you, in order for you to get paid $57,000 a year, you have to make Amway $270,000 a year for you to make 57. But you know, you're your own business owner and you control this and you're getting financial freedom and you're making all this money for them that you could be making for yourself. And I understand part of it is like, well, Amway provides the products and all of that stuff, but that's just such a huge freaking discrepancy. Like, if you go online and you look up any other e-commerce business, yeah, they started out selling maybe through Amazon or something, and then they started selling from their own shop. They're making a lot more money as actual independent business owners than if they have to pay all this Amway. And you're working for Amway. No, you don't get no W-2. No, you don't get like vacation time or get treated as an actual employee. And that was a lawsuit about that. But you are working for them. You're making them hundreds of thousands of dollars a year so you can be platinum level, diamond level, ruby level, whatever. And I think it's so interesting because one of the selling points for Amway that my would-be sponsor was giving me was, oh, they make billions of dollars a year as a company. Like, that's how you know they're legit. They're making billions of dollars a year as a company off of us. Like, they have their own distribution, they have their own products, so they get it all for very cheap because it's theirs. And then they make us sell it for them, and they get all this money back off of us for us to make pennies compared to what we make them. So that was interesting. In order to be Ruby, which is even better, is Ruby level, you have to have 15,000 PV a month. So let's put that in the calculator. That's not right. So that's $40,000 a month, $45,000 a month that you make for Amway. Over $500,000 you make for them a year. $540,000 a year you make for Amway to be Ruby level. This is ridiculous. And the way you accomplish that is not by sales. I mean, technically it's by sales in the sense that Amway gets all this money, but it's not by sales. It's by the people you recruit under you to work under you. Like, let's be real. And it was the craziest thing because I thought that I could do this in the sense of, you know, maybe I join for a few months and I, you know, make some sales and, you know, get a little extra money on the side. It'd be nothing. But everyone who I talk to, whether it's the mentors or the sponsors or anybody else who you follow who has that, they're going to tell you they're not really selling a lot of products. Like, even the mentors are like, I don't have a lot of customers. You know, I got 4 friends and like my mom and dad, and they buy from me. My sponsor was like, oh, I got my mom to buy from me and I got a few friends to buy from me. I don't have a lot of customers. And you don't need a lot of customers when you're making the people below you get a lot of customers or add to their downline. Because at the end of the day, what it looks like to me is it looks like you are paying the bare minimum, and then your expectation is to get people under you to pay the bare minimum. So even if you don't have customers, if you just buy from Amway yourself, then technically you are achieving the BVs and the PVs and all that stuff, the minimums. Or, you know, if you want to buy a lot for yourself, then you're achieving much better. For you to get all of these people below you so that they can do the bare minimum, so that you can collect your like benefits and everything based off of what they do. That's really where it is. It's really about recruiting and having a huge downline so that you can make sure that you're getting all the money and stuff based off of their efforts. And that feels gross to me. It feels gross somewhere in my moral compass. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable to have to convince people to do that. And the only way that I can achieve this financial freedom and success that you're promising me is by making other people do all the work without even showing them. Like my would-be sponsor has not achieved financial freedom. And the people who are under her mentors have not achieved financial freedom, have not been able to retire or quit their jobs yet. They were able to quit their jobs because they own their own companies, and so they could just decide that they didn't want to do it anymore. But they haven't achieved financial freedom, but they are promising to us that we will achieve it, and we just got to take their word for it and then put all this hard work in to make money for them so that they can have, because the only way for them to actually have their financial freedom is for me and other people like me and people under me to be putting in hard work so that they can get the results. They can benefit from that. And that is gross. I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel good. And that was kind of when I came to the conclusion of like, even though I know this can work because I understand how capitalism works, and it works the same way, even though they try to pretend that they're somewhere outside of capitalism, that they're doing something like new and innovative and amazing. It's the same thing as capitalism. The people at the top don't have to do anything, and the people at the bottom do all the work, and the people at the top just collect the money and go traveling to Dubai and shit. So it's really the same thing. And so I believe it could work. I believe you can make a lot of money through Worldwide Dream Builders and Amway, but I would not like the person that I would become after having doing this. Like, I feel like I'd have to be deceitful. I'd have to lie to people and pretend that I'm doing way better than I actually am in order to get them to join so that I can actually be doing better than I am. And I don't want to do that. I'm not a liar. I tell the truth even when I shouldn't be telling the truth. I tell the truth all the time. That's just because, you know, if you're telling the truth, you don't have to remember what you said last time. So I don't want to have to lie to people. I don't want to have to convince people to believe in something that I don't believe in, or I don't want to have to pretend that I'm doing well just so other people can want to be like me when I know for a fact that I'm still struggling and unemployed. You know, like, all of that felt bad for me. So I had come to the realization that after I had that board plan meeting, after I talked to my actual mentor and I talked to my friends, that it was not for me. I would be a worse person if I joined, I'm gonna call it organization. And I know a lot of the things that they were saying in the board plan sounded very cult-like, and it is very cult-like. But I had just come to the realization that I didn't want to do it. So when I had my final meeting with my would-be sponsor, where she promised again that she was going to answer all my questions. She was like, oh, you got so many questions. I'm going to answer all your questions. I was like, okay, great. And I'm like, you're going to tell me what it actually takes to be in a business? And she was like, yes, I'm going to break all that down for you. So we get her a call. I'm just going to pull myself to the right page so I can make sure I have this shit down. So we get to our call, and the call is basically her explaining to me how much time and money your mentors spend mentoring you. Like, oh, they drive to you, or they'll fly to you, or they spend a lot of time on the phone talking to you, and you talk to them like every day about everything going on with you. And then she said that a lot of times people don't fail because they're doing bad business wise. They fail because of things going on in their life. And so you have to tell your mentor everything going on in your life so that they can life coach you. And, you know, they just spend so much time and energy like building you up, and, you know, because they're investing in you so that they can get that return on the back end. Then she talks about the fact that you have to go to, you know, board plans or Amway meetings once or twice a month. That's fine. And every time she did, she was like, "Do you think you can do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. I've done it before where I've had to like take off work or something to go to like a film festival, but it's whatever." So then she talks about the big thing that confused me was the podcast and the books. She was like, "Remember we talked about reading books? So you're going to be reading a lot of books and you're going to be listening to a lot of podcasts." And I'm like, "Okay, I do that anyway. What's the deal?" The deal is that these are Worldwide Dream Builders approved podcasts and books that you have to read, and you have to read a certain amount of books at a certain amount of time. You have to listen to the podcast every single day, and it's kind of like, I'm really trying to avoid to say I really don't want to say brainwashing, but it sounds like brainwashing because the way she presented it to me was that you get to the point where you are taking in so much of their information that is pushing out all the other information, all the negative influences that will come through. And you're just every day, you're just listening to these podcasts and these recordings of telling you, just reaffirming that you need to believe in this process and that this process is going to work for you and you're going to have your financial freedom. You just got to keep working hard, and you have to listen to that every day. And then you have to read books where you're reading about the exact same thing. So it's like you're flooding yourself with all of this information from them to keep you in the group. I keep wanting to say in the cult, in the group. They trying to keep you in the group by constantly flooding your brain with the information. So that sounded a little suspect to me because honestly, like I said, they told you in the board meeting, they want to teach you how to think. They want to teach you how to ignore all the other sources of information in your life. They want to teach you how to ignore your family members' advice. They want to teach you how to ignore what the internet says. Just only focus on what they say you can listen to and what they tell you and what they say you can look at and read. And that amount of control made me really uncomfortable. But I'm sitting here like, at first I'm like, oh yeah, reading books, listening to podcasts, I do that anyway. You know, I listen to educational podcasts, I listen to fun podcasts. It's whatever. But my brain is catching all these things because I don't know. It's just how my brain is wired that certain little alarm bells are going off when she's talking. And again, she's super sweet, super charismatic. Nothing about the way she's saying things or who she is as a person made me feel like, oh, this is wrong. But it was the actual stuff, the actual documents that she was pulling up, that I was reading it and I was looking at it and I was like, you think that you're presenting me this information in a positive way where it's like, oh, but isn't it so great that you get to listen to all these motivational speeches and stuff, which is great. But my brain is hearing the underlining thing of, but only what we say you can listen to. Like, we tell you what to listen to, and that's what you're going to have to commit to listening to every single day, listening to our audios and our podcasts, and every single day checking in with your mentor, telling them what's going on in your life so that they can give you life advice. And every single week reading a book that's been approved by them for you to read. And it was just all very uncomfortable. So I had some more questions that I asked her because, you know, I just wanted to know what she was doing, because that was the biggest thing that was my question, was this whole thing is like, what are you doing? You're selling me all the dreams of Worldwide Dream Builders and Amway, and you can have this wonderful life and everything. What are you doing and how are you doing it? Period. You telling me about how, oh, I used to be depressed and have relationship problems and I joined Worldwide Dream Builders and now my relationship is great, now I'm happy. I ain't trying to hear all that. I'm trying to hear about the practical of what do you do on a daily, monthly, weekly, whatever basis that gets you to where you need to be. What are you doing? And I also told her, I said, I wanted to see the results because I'm just believing whatever you're saying to me. You know, I even asked her, I said, can I talk to the people that are also in your downline? Because she told me she had about 15 people. I said, oh, can I talk to some of them? And her first response was, I'm so sorry. What have I done to make you not trust me? And I was like, the fuck are you talking about? I don't know you like that. How am I supposed to trust you? I don't know you like that. You can't expect me to trust you. Yeah, you nice. I like you, but trust? That's a completely different thing, ma'am. That's something you have to earn over a period of time, not just a few phone calls and Zoom meetings. No. And I told her, and I was nice to her. I was like, oh, no, it's not anything you're doing. I'm just very, I'm just very weary of the whole process. And, I think it'd be great if I could, talk with the other people in your team because we're all technically in the same boat and we could like support each other when things get rough. And she was like, oh, I wouldn't recommend that. I don't talk to anybody. And so her level under her mentors, so on that team, she doesn't talk to anyone on that team and level. She only talks to her mentors. And that was another alarm bell because she was like, well, if you go and you just talk to all the other people on your team, they're going to discourage you. Like when they have upsets or fails, their negative ideas are going to discourage you. It could cause you to quit. So I only talk to my mentors because I know that they're the ones who know what's best because they're the ones who did it. So I only talk to them. It felt very cult-like to me for them to be like, just trust me, just trust me, just trust me. I don't know you like that. I can't just trust you. I have to see tangible evidence and practical evidence of what you are saying to me. I cannot just trust you. So for all I know, you could not even have a downline. You could not even have anyone else on your team, and you're just lying to me to make me feel like you do have people to legitimize yourself so that I can trust you. Because I'm never going to meet these people. I'm never going to talk to them on the phone. I don't have no names of who these people are. Everything from the jump has been so secretive. And I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable that you're acting like you're this secret club that only special people get to get in. If it's so great, you'd be making YouTube videos too. You'd be out here telling everybody how amazing it is to join Amway, to join Worldwide Dream Builders, to get more people. You're making it seem like, no, it's only for special people. We go out and we hand select very specific special people who we think are worthy of joining us and working with us as our partners, but they're not your partners, they're your downline. And that didn't sit right with me. And so I kept pressuring her. I kept saying, like, I want to see evidence. Like, I'm not seeing any evidence of anything. I was like, do you have any charts or anything that maybe your mentors have or you have to show like your growth over time? When did you actually start making money? I'm not expecting to make money in the first month, but when did you actually start making money? And she was like, well, we don't have any charts, but I can assure you that my mentors are retired. I can assure you that I'm making money. I can show you my bank statements if I wanted. Part of me wants to be like, yeah, show me your bank statements. Show them. Because I need something. I ain't got nothing. But we never even got to the point where I could actually like fully like press her on it. Because it is kind of weird to be like, show me your bank statements. But it was just, I was just telling her like, I just don't know. And I brought up the fact that, all of these charges that you have to pay, and yeah, I get it, it's overhead or whatever, but you have to pay all this money to Worldwide, and then you have to buy all your stuff from Amway. And I'm somebody who, I stock up on stuff. I don't just, every month I buy new toothpaste. That's just not me. I when toothpaste is cheap, I buy it, I stock it up so I can save money in the long run. Amway stuff is already more expensive than regular stuff that you might get. And they keep making the example of, well, at Target is this, at Target is that. I don't shop at Target. Target costs too much fucking money. you know? So I go to wherever my stuff's gonna be cheapest, and then that's what I do. Stop it, Sadie. I go to wherever my stuff's gonna be cheapest, and that's what I do. I buy it from the cheapest place, period. I'm not out here trying to, you know, and is it really gonna help me to spend all that money on Amway products other than hoping that one day I can get the bonus? I need this, man. Okay, fine. You can have my notes, but give me the tablet. Thank you. Living with a cat, man. So I asked her, I was like, you know, how much money are you spending a month on all of this Amway stuff? And she told me about the Ditto and how she has the thing where on the first of the month, all her products get ordered and the money comes out of her account so that she can come back and look. And she encourages the people in her downline to also do the Ditto, where all their money comes out at the first of the month, so then she can look and see how everyone's doing, and then they can plan so that by the end of the month they've gotten to whatever their goal is. So she spends automatically every month on Amway $900 a month. $900 a month on Amway products. I asked her, I said, what are you even buying for $900 every month? Like, that's rent. Like, what are you doing? What could they possibly have that you are like, yes, $900 every month? And she's like, you got to switch. This is because I switch all my stuff over to Amway. I buy everything that I normally buy from Amway. I'm like, you normally just spend $900 a month on just miscellaneous shit? I mean, like, I get groceries, but Amway's not really perishables like that. You know what I mean? She told me that they have tortilla chips, but I'm like, how many tortilla chips do you need every month? I don't buy. You really into tacos like that? Like, you really like nachos like that? Like, every month? You know, that's a lot. And I mean, I get, and she's like, well, they're consumables. They're consumables. You know, your toothpaste and your toilet paper and your water and your energy drinks and your vitamins. And then she even mentioned the fact that she didn't even take vitamins before. But now, because she wants to buy from her store, she takes vitamins now. And I'm like, do you even need vitamins though? Or, you know, like, a lot of people think they need vitamins, but also you could just eat, you know, a well-rounded diet, a well-balanced diet, and you wouldn't need vitamins unless you had some kind of issue where you just low on iron or something and your doctor says you need vitamins. Most people don't really need vitamins like that. But I'm like, that's a lot of fucking money. So I bring out the calculator again. So you are spending, in addition to the overhead that you have to pay every month, you are spending $12,600 a year just out of your own pocket on Amway and Worldwide Dream Builders. That's how much money you're spending a year. Who has $12,600 to spend a year on? I don't even know. I don't feel like it's worth it at that point if you spend that much money. And then all of this is so that she can one day achieve platinum, which is $57,000 a year. But it ain't even 57, because if you're buying your own products at $900 a month, you're really only going to make $44,400 a year. And maybe if you lived where I lived, that's a nice apartment, maybe a decent small house. Where she lives, that's poverty. You're spending all this money to live in poverty. And she was like, well, I just believe in myself, and I believe in my business, and I invest in myself, and I invest in my business because I believe that this really works. And I was like, you doing a lot of believing for somebody who told me that your mentors haven't actually helped people achieve the financial freedom that they have just yet, you know, because they've only been in this for a few years. You've only been in this for a few years. I think 3 years and 2 years and all of that stuff. You know, you haven't quit your job yet to be completely financially free, you know. So it's just like, it's all about belief and trust and having faith in something that you can't see, that you're not allowed to see. You're not allowed to see any type of results. You're not allowed to see any type of statements or charts or any actual financial, like, where does the money go? I don't even know what these people Amway stores look like, you know. I don't know anybody in their downline. They were real secretive about the people in their upline. They were just like, oh, the people who we work with is amazing. It took a lot of pulling teeth to just get them to even drop some names of higher level people who a lot of people could expect to know. And when I looked up those higher level people, they don't say anything about the fact that they work with Worldwide or Amway. They just say that they're entrepreneurs and they live on a yacht and they haven't worked in 30 years and blah, 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 blah. And that's all they say about themselves online. And again, if Worldwide Dream Builders was so amazing, you would have YouTube channels and you would have all these public things where you would be telling everybody how amazing it is and how they need to join, whether they join under you or what. You would be telling everybody that this is like an amazing opportunity that they need to. But instead, y'all are lurking in people's comment sections. You're lurking in people. You're sending people messages on Facebook and LinkedIn and all that stuff. And like talking to them and being like, you know, we only share this information with special people. You know, we only share this information with people who we think we can actually trust, who are actually going to do a good job. We don't just do this with everybody, you know. And it's all this cloak and dagger, super secretive, everything. You can't know anything until you're in the game, or you don't know who all is involved until you get to the point where you're being invited to Amway meetings or whatever. And it's just, I didn't like it. And even though I felt like my would-be sponsor was a really nice person, she did feel really authentic. I think my concern was that she did truly believe in what she was telling me, but I didn't believe in what she was telling me. It was too many red flags. It was too many alarm bells going off. I cannot imagine the stuff that people go through within this organization if they haven't fully convinced themselves that everything that happens to them is great. The amount of stress that they might have having to do that. And again, she was the one who told me, she was like, oh, you know, people online, they say that they lost $3,000 and that hasn't been my experience. You're losing $12,000 a year. What are you talking about? That's not your experience. Your experience is 4 times that. So what do you mean that's not your experience? You're not being fully truthful with me. And if she was upfront with me from the jump, I might have felt more into this than I would have liked to. But the fact that she was being very secretive from the jump, which is probably how they trained her to reach out to people. They probably trained her to be very secretive and not to tell everything up front. Because, you know, they don't even mention Amway until a certain point that y'all have been talking, because they don't want to, I guess, scare people away. They want to get you into... They want to pull you in before they start telling you what's really good. And I don't like that. Like, just come to me and tell me straight up what it is, what I have to do, show me evidence that it'll work, and then you got me. That's it. You don't have to play games with me. I'm not a play games type of person when it comes to my money and my livelihood. That's just not how I work. And so this may work for the white people involved who were in these major metropolitan areas where there's a lot of people who they can convince to join under them, and they trust y'all because you're other nice white people talking to them. But as a black woman, I'm automatically suspicious of white people, so you're gonna have to come in a different way at me. So yeah, in conclusion, like I ended up telling her that no, this Amway, this Worldwide thing is just not for me. And I had already made up my decision before we started talking, but I wanted to, you know, give her one last chance to actually show me actual results. And she didn't. It was just all this, you know, have faith in me, have faith in me, have faith in me. So yeah, I do believe this can work. I believe it can work just like any other business in a capitalist society can work, you know, where you get people to work under you and they do all the work and you get all the money. Like, even though they try to make it seem like it's something different, it's exactly what that is. And I think that though this may work for the white people in the major metropolitan areas where they could find a lot of people who can join them and trust them and other white people, I've seen too many examples of this happening in poor black communities. And it's not right, because poor black people do not have the funds and the resources to spend this amount of money on this type of endeavor. You know, and I get it, like in any other situation, you be taking out a loan to start a business or whatever. I understand that, but they don't have the money to come out of pocket for this. They just don't. And I see so many times on Facebook of people being like, hey, anyone want to have a job where you work from your phone and you make a lot of money? Or, hey, I make all this money, you should make money too. And then a year later, you never hear anything about it again. Like, I'm sick of seeing that. It's really detrimental to the community, especially the poor Black community. And I feel like we really need to talk about these things. And I haven't seen enough discourse about it. I mean, you see forums all the time, but I need to see more people speaking up and talking about how this affects them as a Black person. And even though I didn't fully join it, I can see how it could wreck somebody's life. I can see how when I'm watching Martha Reed's channel and she talks about how it affected her marriage and her kids and her relationship with her kids. Like, I can see how all of that happens, because if you become so obsessed with this company to where all of your time is spent building your business and you miss out on real life and real relationships, and you completely put all of your entire support system is tied up in this group of people who you just have to believe and trust, because if not, then you'll have nothing. Don't that sound familiar to you guys? Yeah, sounds real bad, sounds real fucked up. And even though I still think that she was a very, very nice person, and I told her I hope that we could stay friends and that we can continue talking with each other, and she was very nice. I mean, she was like, oh yeah, absolutely. If this isn't for you, that's fine. We can continue talking and everything is fine. And I was like, okay. I don't know if I reach out to her again and she ignores me, what's really good. And if I reach out and she talks to me, then, you know, at least I made a friend out of this whole ordeal. But I just felt like I would have become a worse person if I joined this. I'm not good at lying. I don't like lying. I'm very blunt. I'm very straightforward of a person. So if I come to you, like, I will be in your DMs like, hey, want to join Amway? I work with Amway. And I probably get blocked by a lot of people because that's just who I am. I wouldn't want to hide anything. I tell you everything up front, straight up, like, this is what it really is. And I guess I wouldn't get a lot of recruits because I'd be honest from the beginning, and that doesn't seem to be worldwide policy. It seems to be as secretive as possible and hype them up and get them invested in the ideas of mentorship and financial freedom before you actually tell them what this really is. And that way, if they have that down and their mind is constantly focused on financial freedom, this will fix my life, this will make my life better, then they won't quit, and they'll just keep pouring in money because they hope that it'll give it some result. Kind of like gambling. Like, you just keep throwing in money because you know at some point you're going to get a payout. You'd probably have a better chance gambling, honestly. You'd have a better chance playing the lottery than actually gaining long-term wealth from something like this. Because at the end of the day, it's a pyramid. Like, someone's got to be on the bottom. Someone's got to be not making a lot of money and doing all the work in order for the people up top to keep making money. That just is what it is. And if all of us keep trying to become the top person, we could never become the top person. The top people are already there. All we're doing is making them richer by busting our asses, and then the people below us watching them struggle and just keep convincing them to keep paying into it. Because as long as they keep spending money or selling things and making money, then we're going to keep getting money. And then it just keeps going. It's just a cycle. And from a capitalist perspective, oh, brilliant. Oh, you don't have to do anything. Everybody below you, they believe and they convince other people to believe, and you're good. But that's not something that I want to be a part of. That's not the person that I want to be. I'm gonna have to just figure out how to have long-term wealth or financial freedom some other way. Maybe it won't be quick and easy. Maybe it will take a lot of hard work and a lot of time building it up. But that's just who I am as a person. You know, I work for what I have, and so I'm just gonna have to keep working. You know, and I'm gonna find something else. I'm gonna find something else that's gonna give me what I need to be happy. But that was all I had to say about this. I've had to record all of this so many times due to all types of technical errors because it's my first video, so forgive me. But if you guys have any experiences dealing with MLMs from a poor Black perspective, whether it's been your cousin or your sibling or somebody you went to high school with that got involved, and you either got involved or you heard from them what happened to them, please share it down in the comments. Like, I want to know what is happening to these people who pop up in your timeline and then disappear for several months. Are they actually successful? Did they quit after a few months? You know, just let me know what your experiences are, and I hope to see you guys in another video. Thanks for watching it all the way to the end. I know it's a lot, I talk a lot, but I hope you all have a good rest of your month. I hope you try to make it through the rest of this year. I know it's been a really, really stressful year for everybody, you know, so just take care of yourself, be good to yourself, take some time, breathe, meditate, do everything you need to do to focus on your happiness, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.